One of my biggest frustrations while quilting is breaking my thread. So today I'm going to share the things I do to fix it. Hi there, my name is Irene and you are watching the Sugaridoo channel. Today it's time for the very first Quilting Questions video. The response to my beginner free motion quilting video was quite overwhelming and I thought that needed a follow-up. So I figured out we're going to do once in a month a Quilting Questions video, and I'm just going to discuss topics that pop up in the comment section on my videos. So if you have a question, leave them down in the comment section below, so maybe we can discuss them in the next video. So today's topic is breaking thread. It is so annoying when your thread breaks when you're quilting. You're just getting into it and then it breaks. And then you need to take away your quilt, you have to fix the problem and start again. And your thread breaks again. So in this video I'm just going to walk you through all the checks I do on my machine and all the things I check when my thread keeps breaking. At the end of this video I'm going to give you a free printable where all these steps are summarized. So here are the general things you should check when your thread keeps breaking. First of all, put in a new needle. Your needle could be damaged or bent and that can cause your thread to shred or to break. Also make sure it is installed the correct way, so the flat surface of the needle should be pointing to the back. And while you're at it, also check your needle size. Last weekend, I had a demonstration on a Bernina sewing machine. I hope to tell you a lot more about that very soon. But we also discussed thread and needle size. And it turns out that it's very important to match those two. So always make sure that your needle fits the size of your thread, because a needle with an eye that's too small can cause your thread again to shred or to break. Re-thread your sewing machine. Make sure your spool and spool cap are placed correctly and that your thread is going through all the hooks and loops and makes the correct pathway through your machine to your needle. Clean out your machine. There might be lint or dust in your bobbin area or in your needle area. Just dust it out very regularly, because when there's lint or dust in there, your thread could have more friction and that could make it break. The tension of your thread. Check if the tension is set to the correct tension for the fabric that you're working with. The tension could be adjusted to the fabric or the thread that you have on your machine at that time. So always make sure that those are matching. And then the last thing that I check on my machine is if my bobbin is inserted correctly. Is it counterclockwise or clockwise on your machine? And where does the thread from your bobbin go after you've placed your bobbin? And then some things to keep in mind when your thread is breaking while you're doing free motion quilting. It could be that your machine doesn't like to go in a particular direction. Normally your machine is used to going in this direction or reversing in this direction, but with free motion quilting you're going in all types of directions. And when you're doing meandering or stippling, you're going in different directions for very short distances. But when you're going in a different direction for longer distances, it could be that your machine just doesn't like that. So take a test piece and move in different directions and see if that causes your thread to break. And something else to check also is what is the balance between the speed of your hand and the speed of your needle. Because when you're moving your hands fast but your needle is not going that fast, that's a strange thing for your machine to do, because your stitch length will be long or just that balance could be off. So maybe you can try to move your hands a bit slower or just put your foot down a little bit more so your needle goes faster, and see if that helps with your thread breaking. If your bobbin thread is the thread that is breaking, you might want to check if the tension of your bobbin is not set too tight. And also check if your bobbin is wound correctly. The other week I had a bobbin that looked very odd. It was wound quite loosely and I couldn't figure out why it was like that, but it did cause my thread to break and it all got very messy in my bobbin area. And then I checked my machine and it turned out that there was a thread stuck in the pathway from my spool to my bobbin winding area. So I guess that's not an issue that happens very often, but I did want to tell you because it is a sewing machine, and it is just that, it's a machine, and a machine only works when everything is set up correctly and everything is clean and dust free. So always take good care of your machine and check if there's nothing in the pathway of where your thread is going, because when everything is clean and nicely dust free, then it will always work the best. So there are my tips to check when your thread is breaking. Just check them one by one and see if you can find what causes your thread to break. It is very frustrating when it happens, but just see it as a time to pause and get up, stretch your legs, make a cup of tea, and then go to your machine and try to troubleshoot and find what is happening. When you get more and more frustrated, I'm speaking from experience here, then you're going to make silly mistakes, like not putting back your bobbin or threading your machine incorrectly. So just take a deep breath and go run through the checklist and see if that helps. If not, you can always call the dealer of your machine to see if there's a particular issue with it that causes your thread breaking. So there it is, the complete list. You can find the free downloadable list of all the things I just mentioned on my blog. It's sugaridoo.com/blog, but I will also put the link in the description box below this video, and somewhere in the screen you will see an eye popping up and you can click it. So what is your biggest struggle when you're quilting? Let me know in the comments below. I'm going to do this quilting question video every month, and maybe even more often when there are more quilting questions. Thank you so much for watching. You're awesome. Happy quilting, and see you in the next video. Bye bye!